22 years. That's not a relationship. That's a life. That's who you are when you wake up. Who you call when something good happens. Who you reach for in the dark. 22 years. And she found out he'd been living a double life for almost 5 of them. But that's not even the part that'll break your heart. The part that'll break your heart is what she kept doing after she found out. And the part that'll haunt you is how well you'll understand it. This is a story about love, cycles, and the most dangerous lie we tell ourselves, that this time will be different. Meet Claire. 38 years old. She met her husband Daniel when she was barely 16. Grew up alongside him. Built everything with him. A home, a family, an identity. By the time their story starts falling apart, they've been together 22 years. Married for 18. They have 2 kids, a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old still at home. This wasn't just a marriage. This was the entire architecture of her adult life. And Daniel had been quietly dismantling it for years. His coworker, let's call her Vanessa, had been in the picture for somewhere between 3 and 4.5 years. The timeline keeps shifting depending on who's telling the story. That alone tells you something. Claire had no idea. Not until 2023. When she found out, her body responded before her mind could catch up. She couldn't eat. For nearly 3 months, food became impossible. She lost 60 pounds. 60 pounds in 3 months. Because grief has a physical weight and sometimes it crushes everything out of you. This wasn't dramatic. This wasn't a performance. This was a woman whose body was processing a betrayal her mind hadn't fully accepted yet. After 2 months of what Claire describes as horrific limbo, still living together, nothing resolved, everything raw, she made a decision. She moved out. She was done waiting for him to choose. She was going to choose herself. It lasted 3 days. 3 days after she moved out, Daniel came to her. Crying. Begging. Telling her he couldn't lose her. That he wanted to fix their marriage. That she was everything. And here's the thing, and this matters, she didn't fall for it because she was weak. She fell for it because she genuinely wanted her marriage back. That was her first choice from the beginning. She never wanted the separation. She wanted him to be who she thought he was. So she went back. They started rebuilding. By April 2024, she found out he had never stopped seeing Vanessa. Not for a single day. He begged again. She stayed again. July 2024, another discovery. They ended what Claire calls the false reconciliation. And then Daniel did something that is almost hard to process. He moved Vanessa into their marital home. The home Claire had built her life in. For a week. Then he kicked Vanessa out. Then he came back to Claire, begging. 2 days later, he was back with Vanessa. Then Vanessa moved back in. Then Claire filed for divorce, and Vanessa was gone again. This cycle, the begging, the promising, the returning, the betrayal, became almost monthly. For 2 years. There's a specific kind of psychological torture in this pattern that doesn't get talked about enough. It's not just betrayal. Betrayal is a single event. You can process a single event. This is something different. This is a cycle, hope, warmth, love, connection, and then devastation. Over and over. Month after month. Every time the warmth came back, Claire's nervous system had no choice but to respond to it. That's not weakness. That's neuroscience. That's what trauma bonding actually looks like from the inside. Daniel, by every account, was loving when he came back. Present. Things would genuinely get better. Claire wasn't imagining it. And that's exactly what made leaving feel impossible, because she wasn't just chasing a memory. She was chasing something that kept briefly, painfully coming true. And through all of this, Claire was changing, growing. She was in the best shape of her life. More financially stable than she had ever been. More self-aware. More clear-eyed about everything, except this one thing. She knew she was beautiful. She had people telling her constantly. She had opportunities she wasn't taking. And she couldn't understand why she kept choosing someone who treated her like she didn't matter. That question, why do I keep choosing this, is one of the most painful questions a person can sit with. Because the answer isn't simple. And anyone who tells you it is has never been in it. Then came the night that broke something open. Daniel told Claire he was going to work. While he was supposedly at work, Claire got a text from Vanessa, telling her that she and Daniel had never stopped sleeping together, and that she had assumed Claire already knew. Read that again. Vanessa reached out to tell her. Whether that was out of guilt, cruelty, or something else entirely, the message landed like a bomb. Daniel wasn't at work. He was with her. Claire sat with that, waited for him to come home and explain. He told her hours ago he would tell her everything. He said he'd call her back. He didn't call. He went back to Vanessa. And Claire sat there, in her own home, waiting. Hurting. Being left on read by a man who had promised, again, just hours before, that he was done. In that moment she wrote something that deserves to be heard out loud. I'm sitting here devastated and desperate for him to explain, and he knows. He just leaves me here hurting like I do not matter. She said she deserves every bit of pain she feels right now. That it's her fault for letting it happen. It isn't. But that's where she is. And that's the most honest, heartbreaking thing about all of it. Claire has almost no one left to talk to about this. Her one close friend is exhausted. Her mom is done. Her mother-in-law, Daniel's own mother, has told Claire to walk away. When his own mother is on your side, that tells you everything about what kind of man he is. But here's what Claire is actually carrying that nobody's naming directly. She has 2 teenagers at home watching this. A 17 and 19-year-old who are living inside this chaos. And part of what keeps Claire in the cycle isn't just love. It's the desperate, very human need for things to feel normal again. For her kids to have a home that isn't broken. For the last 22 years to mean something. That's not weakness. That's a mother. That's a woman who built something and doesn't want to watch it burn. The problem is, it's already burning. It has been for years. And Daniel is the one holding the match. Claire isn't the reason this marriage is broken. She is the only one who ever tried to save it. Claire said she wants to change. That she wants her self-respect back more than anything. That's not nothing. That's actually everything. Because the moment you can name what you've lost, you've already begun finding your way back to it. She's not stupid. She's not broken beyond repair. She's someone who loved deeply in a world that didn't protect that love. And she's still standing. Still feeling. Still honest enough to say, I need to stop this. That's where it starts. If you're in a cycle that you can't seem to break, if you keep choosing someone who keeps leaving you with nothing, this channel is for you. You're not alone in it. And you're not as far gone as you think. The Tired Souls Society. You found it. Stay a while.